Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm here today with another Stamp Time with Friends, roll of the dice. It is the second Sunday of the month. So anyway, today's project is super cute. I really love it. And the dice said we had to use over the top, die cuts, friendship, sponging, and the Regals collection, which you guys know that is my favorite collection in the family, the color families. So here is my card. My good friend Liz taught me how to make this. And look at that dimension. Isn't that just absolutely gorgeous? That is over the top. We're going to add, because this is clean and simple right now, we're going to add a few more elements to give it a little bit more over the topness. But how fun is this? Liz and I try to do some stamp in chat, like over Zoom or Messenger or whatever. This is a card that we made when she taught me how to make this card. How gorgeous is it, right? I love it. So now we're just going to change up the color palette and kind of make it a little bit more Christmassy today, because I felt like this was a little Christmas, but we're going to make it even more Christmassy. Okay, so products used. Let's get into that first. Page 50, we use Country Birdhouse and the Country Birdhouse dies. Anytime you see a pink highlighter, that means I own that product. We're also using Country Woods paper. I'm using the dark wood and a piece of this light wood paper here. Next up on page 54, we're using the Unbounded Love. That is where the word sentiment came from, the to you and yours, and the gorgeous matching die set for that. Okay, that's where that frame came from. And we are going to use, on page 122, we are going to use the punch, the Petal Park punch, to make some little poinsettias to make it a little bit more Christmassy. And on page 129, we are using the Timber, which is number 12, the Timber 3D embossing folder. And on page 137, the beautiful Regals. I have chosen Cherry Cobbler and Old Olive. That is my favorite color combination out of all the color combinations. I just think it's so beautiful and Christmassy, and I just love it. So that's what we're going to use. Okay. All right. So where should we start? Let's start with base pieces, because those are going to be your easiest pieces. Your card base is going to be 8.5 by 5.5, right? Yep, and you're going to score it on the 8.5 side at 4.25, so it's just your normal card base size. I sometimes forget to tell you all that because I just assume you know how to make a card base. But you get 2 card bases out of one piece of 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Alright, so you're going to make sure you get that crease in that score line. You're going to make a layer for the top. This layer is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller than that Cherry Cobbler. If you want more of a border, you can do 4 by 5 1/4 if you want to. This piece is 4 by 5 1/4. And see, it just gives you a little bit more border. So it's up to you how you want your border to look. Okay, so there we go. Actually, you know what? I like the more border in this card. So I'm going to cut both of these pieces, my inside layer and my outside layer, to 4 by 5 1/4. See, I like to change my mind. Even when I'm teaching you the color combination design I came up with. All right, so we have that. So 2 pieces at 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, one's going to go inside and one is going to go outside. So we have those 2 layers. Okay, now let's work on let's work on our bird because I want to do all of my die cutting at the same time. Okay, so you're going to get your scrap paper. You're going to stamp your bird in the tuxedo black ink. Make sure he has enough room that you can cut around him. We're going to use the dies. He has a die. If you can get yourself a magnetic anything, look at how easy. All of my pieces I'm using are just on this little magnetic coffee. I got this from Etsy, but you can just get anything that's magnetic and have it near you so that way you can get your die cut pieces easily. Alright, so we stamped your bird. Now your bird coloring is going to be up to you. As you can see, I kind of played around with some different birds, a little fake cardinal, a little robin, and this one is Cajun Craze. So I think I'm going to stick with my Cajun Craze bird because I thought he was super, super cute. So I have my blends. I have the dark and light Cajun Craze, and then I have my Crushed Curry. Alright, so I'm going to start with dark Cajun Craze. I'm going to just kind of color in just around his feathers, kind of on his head with the dark, and then I'm going to go over all of it with the light. The reason why I do that is because it gives it some highlights without you having to shadow and be a professional colorist. So now I'm just going to get this in here. Just kind of blend that in. You can use your basic black marker for his eye. Just the more times you go over, it's going to make the colors darker. And then I'm just going to go over his little belly with the same color. Okay. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with that Cajun Craze, and I'm going to outline the bottom of his belly, and it's going to start changing colors. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and color in his little beak and his feet. Okay, so see how it kind of changed his belly? I don't know if you can see or not. It changed his belly a little bit brighter. And I like that, but I didn't want it to be that bright, so I came back in, and now I'm going to use my light Cajun Craze, and I'm just blending everything back in. So now the top part of my bird is going to be darker, the bottom part is going to be lighter, and it smoothed out that yellow in there, but still gave me that yellow color. So I thought that was super, super cute. You may not be able to see it on camera, but I can definitely see it here. So that is my little bird. You can add little highlights to him, you know, like I said, do your little robin, your cardinal, whatever bird you want. So he's ready to be cut out. So we're going to push him to the side because we're going to get everything else ready for our cutting machine, because I just want to do everything at once. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to cut out 2 pieces of the wood paper, the wood grain paper. We're going to cut it to 3.5 by 4 1/4. Cut 2 pieces of that. And on one of the pieces, you're going to stamp the birdhouse on there. You're going to use your big block, the biggest block that you have. I think it's E, maybe. And you're going to stamp it straight down on your wood grain paper. Okay, so for this card in particular, I stamped it straight down on the lighter wood paper, and then I built up the pieces with the darker wood. This time we're just doing the opposite. So I stamped down here, okay? Now, your second wood grain piece of paper, you don't need your stamp lines, okay? Because that's just going to be the back. So you're going to go ahead and cut those out. While you're there, you're going to cut out your roof piece and your base piece. which are these two pieces here. Okay, so go ahead and cut out your roof piece and your base piece. And then you're also going to cut out your scalloped piece, which is this piece here. And I did mine in Cherry Cobbler this time because I want it to be, like I said, I wanted it to be a little bit more of the darker palette, so the warmer colors. So we're going to do that. Okay, so you're going to cut that out as well. Let me grab my bird. We're going to cut out our bird. While we're here at this point, what we are going to do is our sentiment. Okay, this is the Unbound Beauties. So you're going to mount your sentiment. And I did to you and yours because it's friendship, you know, to your family. You and your family. And I'm going to stamp that on this scrap piece of Whisper White in Cherry Cobbler. Like so. And I'm going to cut that out with the frame. I love the picture frame. I will show it to you in just one second. With the picture frame. Here's the picture frame. Now the picture frame is twofer. You get two pieces when you cut out the picture frame. It cuts out in the rectangle, which it is stitched, and then here's the frame. Okay, so you're going to cut it out once with this white, just to get the white piece, and then you're going to cut it out again in Cherry Cobbler to get the piece around it. Okay, I just think it looks super cute. So then you have some little white frames that you can use at another time. All right, so I need to cut that out. I need the house. All right, so, oh, and you need your little branch pieces. I cut mine out using this die from the Unbounded Love. It's like a little branch type, eucalyptus type thing. So you're going to cut that out. And you're going to take your layer and you're going to run that through on your embossing folder. Okay, so I know that's a lot of work that you're not going to see me do on camera, but I think you kind of get the idea. So let me run through all of that. Okay, so I have all of my main pieces here. Now, you know, to make this less overwhelming, what I would do is one night cut out all of my base pieces and my white layers. And then the next night I would cut out, stamp and cut out all of my birdhouses. And then the next night maybe do all of my base pieces, all of my roof and base piece, you know, so just kind of break it up so you're not overwhelmed. And then there's my frame. That's going to go with that. So it looks like we have all of our pieces. So I know you're thinking, okay, the mechanism. It looks hard because this card is super wow. Look at that dimension. It's not hard. What you're going to do is take a piece of paper. You can use white. You can use whatever you have. I think I'm going to use, oh yeah, I'm going to use a scrap of the wood paper. And I'm going to cut it. You need two pieces that are 2 inches by 1 1/4. Oh, that was perfect, a scrap piece. It really doesn't matter what you use because you're not going to see it unless you're like looking like that. You know what I mean? I just happened to notice that this piece was the perfect size. So 2 by 1 1/2. And on the 2 inch side, you're going to score it at 1/2 inch. 1. And 1 1/2. So every 1/2 inch. Okay. And I think I almost ripped mine. That's okay. And then you're going to Mountain Valley Mountain fold that and do the same on the other. So score it 1/2 inch gently, 1 inch, 1 1/2, Okay. And then you're going to mountain, valley, mountain. So you have like a little W type thing. Okay. All right, so now we have all of our parts and pieces. We just have to layer. Window sheet. Piece of window sheet. You're going to cut that at, I don't know. I just wanted a little window sheet on my my window here. I'm going to cut my window sheet 1.5 by 1.5. So a little piece of window sheet. 1.5 by 1.5, right? Because we're going over the top. So let's add window sheet to our window. I think it's going to look super cute. I'm just wiping mine with a little lint-free paper towel, just to get any yuck off of it. All right, now there is a die for this circle, but I just used my old Stampin' Up! 3/4 inch circle punch. Use the die if you have the die, or use the circle punch if you want to use the circle. It's a retired punch, but it's easier for me to do that than the die. And on the back, we need to go ahead and add our window sheet. So we're going to use our tear and tape to do that. Or, you know, whatever you want, whatever adhesive you want to add that. I just have the tear and tape right here, so it's very convenient for me. Okay. Because why not? Here we go. And here we go. Okay. So the card does not take this long to make one card. Once you know, once you get started, it does not take this long to make a card. I know some people are like, why add the window sheet? Well, because when you open it, you see how you catch the light. I just think that gives it a little extra pizzazz, right? So on the back of that, we are going to take our little pop-up mechanism thingies, and we're going to add tape. Tear and tape would be the easiest, the fastest. You could add wet glue if you want to. To our little wings, or flaps, or 1/2 inch rectangles, whatever you want to call it. And add the tear and tape for that. And we are going to add that directly onto our birdhouse. So I'm going kind of towards the bottom, and I'm matching the angle of the sides just so you can't see it from the front. And look, I did rip it. I'm gonna have to do a whole nother piece because I scored too hard. So 1.5 by 2, scored at 1/2 inch gently, 1 inch gently, and 1.5 gently. Okay, and as you can see there, I folded my middle piece first. It doesn't matter, just as long as you have like an accordion style. Okay. Okay. There we are. And let's take our tape backing off. Make sure you don't have any of your tape hanging over the top or the bottom. Okay. And then just follow that same thing we just did. Okay. Like so. There we go. And now we're going to make sure we don't have any yuck on our window sheet, and you're just going to line this up. I like to hold, because it has that sticky tape on there, I like to hold that sticky tape in, just like one of them. Line the top up. Which I did not even do. And then just kind of push it on in there. So there's your mechanism. All done. I really like that. Oh, I forgot to decorate it, didn't I? That's okay. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and decorate. I'm going to put on my roof pieces here. I'm going to use wet glue. I'm allergic to Tombow, so I use different wet glue, which is clogged right this second. So you're just going to add your roof piece, your scallop piece, your roof piece, and your base piece. As you can see, it does not matter which order you add your pieces on. It's just whatever you remember. Okay, I'm going to line up these scallops. Here we go. Okay. I want my light roof piece here. Probably should have did the roof piece first. Yeah. Only because I think it'll line up the scallops a little better. Okay, here we go. Oops. Okay, roof piece, scallop piece. There we go. Oh yeah, I like that. And then my little base piece. I'm just putting glue on the base piece. Base piece. Okay, perfect. And my little bird's gonna look so cute on there. Okay, so the real reason why I did the green is because I don't like the little perch hole, because there's no perch. So that's why I took the little green bits, so it kind of looks like, you know, I wanted my bird up like that, but I didn't want him floating in the air. So the green pieces are just kind of my little anchor, if you will, to anchor the bird over that hole. That's all those pieces are there for. But I thought it looked so beautiful that it stayed. You can also, if you don't want to color your bird, you can stamp it directly on your cherry cobbler or whatever color piece you want and just have your bird like that. It'd be really cute too. Alright, so what I'm going to do is take a dimensional and put it on the back of my bird. Just right here in the middle. I'm going to position him where I want him. So I need his head covering that piece, right? And now I'm just going to take my green pieces and just kind of use them as anchors. Just so it looks like my bird is, you know, sitting on leaves instead of just floating in the air and not touching the base. I know, no one else but me would have noticed that, but I noticed it and I fixed it. Okay, I'm just adding glue to my leaf. And I'm going to tuck that in there, just like that. Tuck the other one in as well. Obviously, you can add as much or as little branch as you want. I kind of wanted a lot of branch this time. You can continue down, you can stamp down here, whatever you want to do. Okay, so now that's done. Now let's go ahead and, oh, I forgot we got a sponge, don't we? Well, our inside layer, we can go ahead and add that real fast because that we're pretty much done. And on your inside layer, I would stamp another bird or something on the inside. Okay, let's make this nice and even. I'll stamp a bird inside and I'll color a bird in on the inside. Okay, there you go. Now, what we need to do is take our 3D wood piece and decide which piece you want showing at the top and which piece you want on the bottom. Because it is 3D, but one side is a little bit more 3D than the other. We're going to take our Old Olive ink and we're going to ink around our little thing here. Okay, so Old Olive, and I think I want this side up top. And we used Old Olive for our little branches, so this kind of ties it all in. I'm just inking the edges. You can make it as dark or as light as you want. Okay, there's my spongy. Okay, and I do not like my hands dirty, so I don't touch these things. Okay. Clean hands. Alright. Now we're going to take our wet glue and you're going to glue that on top of your base. Okay. Like so. And I say wet glue because it's easier to get in all those 3D nooks and crannies with the wet glue. The tape runner probably will be okay. I don't know. I always just use wet glue for 3D. Okay, be generous with it. Okay, so put that right where you want it in the middle. Okay. Oh, we didn't make our poinsettias, did we? So now you're just going to glue this right to the top, kind of towards the right-hand side. You want it like mine. And you know what? I kind of want, these white pieces are a little bit too much for me. So I'm going to take my Cherry Cobbler ink and I'm going to ink around the house, I think. Because I kind of wanted this to look like snow, but it's not giving me snow vibes right now. Okay. So I'm going to take my Cherry Cobbler and my Cherry Cobbler ink. It's not crooked. And I'm going to ink this up. Yeah, I like that much better. Yeah, that white just felt, I don't know, borderless, I guess. Of course, I would think of it after I glued it down, so it's kind of hard. I'm not going to really be able to ink the top. That's fine. Can always just put a flower there. Okay, yeah, I like that so much better. Okay. Alright, put our ink away. And then we're just going to glue our house down. Okay, and I'm going to use wet glue because I'm gluing it on top of a 3D. So I'm just adding glue to the perimeter. And now I'm going to scribble on the inside. Okay. And then kind of add that here, kind of towards the right. Make sure that is down. You know what? I think that window sheet just adds just that little extra, I don't know the word, texture. Look at that. I love it. So cute. Okay. So cute. Now we need to add our frame. So I'm going to go ahead and wet glue and place that where I want it to be placed. You can come up here if you want. I kind of want mine down here because I'm going to float these flowers. Ooh, you could add a ribbon on here too. Twine. Right now I'm going to add my cherry cobbler frame. Again, wet glue. If you wanted to be super extra, you could actually pop up that middle piece instead of gluing it down. And then it would have given like a little different effect. Oh, this is coming out so cute and so Christmassy. Okay, perfect. Okay, poinsettias. Poinsettia, however you want to say it. I'm going to take the punch here, the petal punch, and my cherry cobbler scraps. And I'm going to punch, I think, this medium flower. No, I'm going to do the small ones. And I'm just going to punch out a bunch of them. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to crunch these up a little bit. And I'm gonna take some old olive and cut out that little leaf for some old olive scraps. I think in the new online exclusives that are going to come out July 3rd, there might be a little poinsettia die in there. I can't remember though. But it is going to be, the online exclusives are going to have some Christmas stuff and some Halloween, for those of you who participate in Halloween. Some fall stuff. The online exclusives are so cute. I got to order mine. I'm going to wait until later this month to order mine. And then you guys will get to order it July 3rd, unless you become a demonstrator before then. Then you get to order first. So, okay. So I just cut out those. Okay, here we go. And crunch up my flowers. Take some glue and just kind of offset these flowers. Actually, you know what we're going to do instead? We're going to take a mini glue dot because I want some height right over the top. Take a mini dimensional, the little tiny baby ones. Put it in the middle. I put wet glue on there, so obviously it's just sliding off because the wet glue is not dry. And then offset it that way. There we go. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm just gonna put the flowers singly on there. I didn't like them together, but instead I'm gonna put them up with a glue dot. I mean with the dimensional. Okay. I kind of just want one there. And I work in odds, so I have to have at least 3. Oh, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna add some gems. Okay, so here, which side do I like? just going to kind of put that one up there. And I'm just going to kind of stick. I don't know if I particularly care for the leaves, but I don't hate them. I'm going to put that one kind of under. Kind of going that way. Yeah, okay. So just want a little tiny piece of the leaf hanging out. And I'm going to put the little leaves hanging in all different directions. Oops. Yeah, I know. But it's your project. Change your mind. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to add this little leaf here. And that one's going to go that way. Perfect. Okay, so you're done. At this point, I'm just fussing around. I'm going to add some basic rhinestones because over the top, you can add any color you want. I'm just going to add whichever one I pull out first. Use some of your retired flowers. They're gold. You know, use whatever you have, but I want a specific one. Okay, so your basic rhinestones will look super cute in here. But I'm going to use some retired. Here's your basic rhinestones. But I'm going to use some retired festive pearls. They may bring these back because these were in the Christmas mini. And I'm only showing these because I want you to use what you've already purchased as well as buy more. Okay, so there we go. Isn't that just an absolute gorgeous card? I know you can't see it, but look at how absolutely gorgeous. And you can continue to add as much as your heart desires. Just absolutely beautiful and a wow card, and it's over the top and it's movable. Like I said, you can do your bird however you want. You could do the little fake cardinal if you wanted to. You know, just kind of fussy cut the little triangle point and add him on there, or your robin or whatever you want. But alright guys, I hope you make this card. It really does not take 40 minutes to make this card. But you know, when you're doing a tutorial, it's a little longer. But anyway, thanks for watching guys. Bye.